Hi guys! Sorry again for yet another gap in updates, but I have a lot of news to share with you now. I'm 30 weeks, so we're getting closer, and a couple of things happened. I did get that free 3D ultrasound from the School of Ultrasound that's local to me, and it went okay. The teacher was the one who did the scan, and she was doing the scan to demonstrate it to 4 of the students. Cal was not cooperating that day, and not even the iPhone made him happy. He kept throwing it down on the floor. And Squish was not cooperating. She was still head down, but she tipped her head back towards my cervix, and there wasn't a lot of fluid in front of her face, so they couldn't really get a good view of her face. And then, the uterus was kind of in the way, so for them to get the plane of view, like either they couldn't really see her face, or if they got closer, it got to where it was like cutting into her face, so she doesn't have like a nose or eyelids in like the best shot we got. But she was smirking a little, which is kind of cute, and we got kind of a cute shot of the side of her face with her arm. So it was okay. If I would have paid over $100 for that, I would have been really disappointed, but since it was free, it was alright. The other thing is I decided to do the Hypnobabies home study course. I started off by ordering the VBAC disc that they have, and I tried that out for a couple nights, and I was amazed. It is awesome. I did not know I could be that relaxed ever. It was awesome. I was a little skeptical, but now I'm a believer, and it was amazing, and I was like, I need the whole thing. I have to have the whole thing. I can't just do this one disc. Like I planned to read the hypnobirthing book and do the VBAC disc and get some birth hypnosis tracks on Amazon that were really inexpensive, but after seeing how amazing just that one disc was, I just had to have the whole course. So I looked, and on Craigslist it just so happened that there was someone local to me selling the whole thing for only $100, and I could not find it for less than like $130 otherwise anywhere, and it's like $160 or so, brand new Hypnobabies. So I was like, hey, it's a pretty good deal. I'm sure I could sell it for the same amount after I'm done with it, and so then it'll be like I borrowed it for free. I got it from her and I started doing it. I'm into my second week, and already it's just incredible. It's incredible. That's all I can say. Like, it's making a huge difference, I think, in my game plan for how I'm gonna make this VBAC happen. I had another appointment with Dr. Andrews, and I talked to him about it. He had never heard of Hypnobabies, but I gave him kind of an overview, and he said that it sounded like a really good idea. He definitely can see the benefits of hypnosis, and also, the self-fulfilling prophecy, and, keeping the positive affirmations and everything. So he's on board with that, which is awesome. And I kind of just told him about how some of the point of it is to kind of reprogram your mind and how you've been conditioned to view birth because of the media or other people's stories or whatnot. So words like labor and pain and contraction tend to have a negative association in our brains just because of all these years and years and years and years of what we've been exposed to. So part of the program is to try to get away from those words and use other words that we can attach only positive thoughts to, and then that right there already makes a big difference in just how you respond subconsciously, that deep level. So instead of, we don't do pain, and instead of contraction, it's, birth waves or pressure waves. Instead of labor, it's birthing time, and so on and so forth. So I told him about that, and he's like, yeah, if you go into it and you're afraid, it's just gonna hurt even more, and all these people expect it to hurt, and they're afraid of it to hurt, and then they go into it and it does hurt because that's what they expect, and they're freaking out and they can't relax. And exactly, so that's exactly the point, is to try to teach my brain to go with it, to work with it, to embrace it, to stay positive and relaxed all throughout it, Some people have Hypnobabies birth with literally, like, they literally say they did not feel pain. Other people, they did, but it was much less pain. And mainly, the important part is, even if I feel some pain, okay, I've been through that, been there, done that, and I was still handling it. So I'm not even expecting it to be totally painless, and I don't even care if it's not totally painless. My main goal is that I just want to stay calm and relaxed and positive. Just have it be as pleasant of an experience as possible. So I am loving it, and I will definitely keep you guys posted on how it's going through doing the course, and of course, after having Squish, how it worked out for me. But I have a very good feeling that it's going to work out well. So other things that happened at the appointment, I did do the glucose screening test, and I don't know how that went. I haven't heard yet. It's been a whole week. I'm guessing no news is good news though. Because if I didn't pass that one, then I need to do the 3-hour one to determine whether I had gestational diabetes or not, and it's getting kind of late in the game to make that diagnosis. So I figured if I didn't pass that, they probably would have told me by now, so I could hurry up and do the next one so that they can know for sure one way or another as soon as possible, so that if I did in fact have gestational diabetes, that I could get treated for it as soon as possible. So I'm guessing no news is good news. If I remember correctly, last time they didn't call me either. They just told me at the next appointment that I passed. So we'll see. Maybe if I get too curious, I might call and find out if they know. We talked a little bit more about some of the things that I would like for the birth. I was asking him about family-centered cesarean if, God forbid, it got to that point, and he wasn't real familiar with that, and I kind of told him, you know, like skin to skin in the OR and stuff like that. He said that that's not up to him. That would be up to the anesthesiologist and I guess the hospital, which kind of sucks because he has said before that this hospital is a little behind the times. I mean, they don't give hospital privileges to the midwife that they have in the office. So I'm thinking it's probably not a possibility. So just another reason to hope it's not going to be cesarean. But otherwise, he's cool with like delayed cord clamping if possible, or at least milking the cord, things like that. He talked a little bit about some concerns I had. Like I read an article about placenta accreta, which was kind of scary, and he says it's very, very rare. He almost never sees it, and it's never been a very catastrophic thing. Like he hasn't lost a patient from it or anything. He's never had a percreta, which he said is the most serious and dangerous condition for the placenta, and that's when it goes through the uterus and attaches to other organs like the bladder. But again, he doesn't think that that'll become an issue for me since the placenta is posterior. I mean, it can happen even unscarred uteruses, but generally when it does happen, most of the time it happens over the scar because it makes it easier for it to, you know, attach strangely into the uterus and whatnot. So he doesn't think it'll be a problem, but if it comes up, it usually ends well. So I'm a little less scared of that. He was really cute with Cal. It was adorable. He blew up a glove and made it into a monster. Cal was wearing a Monsters University shirt, and he put like one eye on him and said it was Mike Wazowski, and he was really cute with Cal. It was awesome. And he also did another quick ultrasound. Got a similar view of Squish's face again. And this time she was transverse, but he again said he's not worried at all. He said it's totally normal at this age for her to be in any position, and he's not worried about her being transverse or breech until 36 weeks, and until which point then we would do an external version. I asked him, because I had seen a lot of people who had attempted versions that were not successful and then ended up having a scheduled C-section, usually at 39 weeks. So I asked him, you know, if she stays breech and if the version doesn't work, would I have to schedule C-section, or could we wait until I go into labor? He's like, whatever you want. He's like, it's better to wait to go into labor because then, you know, you never know. They can always flip even at the last minute, even while you're in labor. we can wait and hopefully it happens on its own. And, you know, again, he talked about how we could go to 41 weeks without issue, and then after that post-dates testing to see if we can continue or not, etc., etc. Again, he's just awesome, and I'm pretty confident she will be head down when time comes. As far as I know, actually, I think she's head down now, because I've been feeling kicks up around my belly button and above, and like what feels like, I think, a foot. I'm really bad at like figuring out what it is I'm feeling, but it feels like it's a foot that sometimes kind of sticks out, and I can like push and feel. But what feels like kicks up high. When she gets hiccups, I feel it really down low. I don't know. It just seems like she's head down again. But I guess we'll find out at I have another appointment in a week, and I'm sure you could probably tell without even having to look in the ultrasound. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, it was just another good appointment, and so I'm going every other week at this point up until, I would imagine, around 36 weeks you'd probably switch to weekly. And the last big news is we bought her crib. It's really cute. It has like 4 posters, and it's white, and it has like flowers, and it's pretty, and I love it. And I got it at Burlington Coat Factory on closeout for $130, and it's awesome. And it turns into a taller bed, so it can grow with her, and which also means it makes it easy that you know it'll be nice and sturdy if you want to sidecar it to the bed. So I'm gonna wait and see how she does. If she does fine sleeping kind of in her own thing, I'm gonna start out with the rock and play, I think. We also have the pack and play bassinet too, but we'll see how she does on her own surface. For Cal, it did not work well. After the first couple days, he would wake up every 10 minutes unless he was right there. We do also have one of those in-bed co-sleeper things, which is what we had used for Cal for the first couple months. So we're well covered in various different ways for her to sleep safely. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how she does. You know, I know every kid can be different, so maybe she'll be totally fine sleeping on her own, and we don't even have to sidecar the crib, and we can just set up the crib in the other room, and when we feel like she's ready to be in her own room, we'll just put her in there. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that is all for this week. See you guys next week. Bye!